Let us discuss the application of Rawlsian principles in the Indian context. John Rawls' theory of justice has a major influence in the legal theory all over the world, and John Rawls was known for his conceptualization of the original position, and also to reach this original position he uses a methodology which is called as a reflective equilibrium. When the society adopts or creates a norms, there is always the conflict between the societal norms and the individual norms. So, in this contradiction and a conflict between societal norms and individual norms, sometimes the individual norms may be recognized or may not be recognized. Sometimes or majority of the times the individual norms will be put under the carpet. We could look at this in the context of two interesting recent cases decided by the Indian Supreme Court. The first case is in the 2014 National Legal Service Authority case, where Justice Radhakrishnan used the concept of reflective equilibrium and Rawlsian theory of justice. This case is the first time challenged the notion of non-accepting third gender in the Indian society and in Indian legal regime. This issue of existence of transgender and identity of the third gender is a issue came before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, while articulating and acknowledging that there is a third gender which exists and some countries outside India have already recognized, and there is a need for the Indian Supreme Court also have to accept and acknowledge the existence of the third gender. In that context, Justice Radhakrishnan indirectly uses the reflective equilibrium principle. Third gender may not be acceptable, even though we know from times immemorial the issue of third gender is existing in India in the social context without a proper recognition or without a proper legal recognition. But how do we examine third gender in the context of the principle of reflective equilibrium? The social norms may not recognize third gender as a or a transgender persons as a third gender, because we only know two genders, whether male or female. But reflective equilibrium says there is this constant contradiction between individual norms and the societal norms, and when there is a conflict between these two, sometimes even the individual norms needs to be recognized and acknowledged. So, in that context Justice Radhakrishnan uses this principle of reflective equilibrium in this case. Another important case, which is a very well known case, recently it has almost all sent waves all over the world including in India, which is the case of Navtej Singh Johar case, where the majority judgment was delivered by the former Chief Justice of India, Justice Deepak Mishra, and there are concurring judgments by Justice Nariman and Justice Chandrachud. While concurring this judgment, Justice Nariman uses Justice Deepak Mishra's earlier judgment in a euthanasia case, where Justice Deepak Mishra in the euthanasia case has articulated this principle of self determination. If a person is terminally ill, about to die, whether that person, terminally ill person, has a right to self determine whether his life support system should be continued or discontinued. When there are no hopes of existence, there is no point of a person should be prolong the life or death of a person. So, Justice Deepak Mishra used this, and also he attempted to explain the will, a policy for legalizing euthanasia. So, Justice Nariman uses in advocating the decriminalization of section 377 this principle where he says that self determination is one, there is a choice is available. The choice is that whether the society accepts, whether society may deny this, but there is a need to recognize that consensual sexual act of adults cannot be criminalized under section 377. Similarly, in a different way, Justice Chandrachud again in this Navtej Singh Johar case, he uses the original position conception of Rawls theory of justice, where he looks at here we can look at a small example of a birthday cake. Let us assume if birthday cake is has to be distributed to people those who are part of the birthday party, and if X is given the duty to distribute or cut the cake into pieces. So, when the X is distributing the cake, he does not know whom he will be giving. So, that is what a position where somebody can get a bigger piece, somebody can get a smaller piece. So, this is an original position. In that original position, the choice may exist. What Justice Chandrachud mentions in supporting the majority judgment of Justice Deepak Mishra is this choice which is available, and the court has to recognize and the law has to change. The old section 377 cannot exist in the modern day democracy. Justice Chandrachud uses Rawlsian notion of self-respect, where he says that once in the theory of justice individual has a notion of self-respect, you cannot deny in the case of the consensual sexual relationship. So, what we have attempted to discuss this Rawls theory of justice, particularly the reflective equilibrium in the context of India by using these two cases. Thank you.